Welcome to News at 10 on BTV and BTV World. This is Soma Bose welcoming you all. Those were the headlines. Now move on to the details.
Bangladesh ছেলেরা, বাংলার মায়েরা, বাংলার কৃষক, বাংলার শ্রমিক, বাংলার বুদ্ধিজীবী যেভাবে সংগ্রাম করেছে, আমি কারাগারে বন্দী ছিলাম, ফাঁসি কাটতে যাবার জন্য প্রস্তুত ছিলাম, কিন্তু আমি জানতাম আমার বাঙালিকে কেউ দবায় রাখতে পারবে না, আমার বাংলার মানুষ স্বাধীন হবে।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has returned home after wrapping up her two-day state visit to India. She went to New Delhi on Friday at the invitation of her India counterpart Narendra Modi. A flight of Bangladesh Airlines carrying the Prime Minister and her entourage members landed at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport this night. This was the first bilateral visit by any head of government to India after the BJP-led alliance formed its government for the third consecutive time following the Lok Sabha elections. Besides, this visit was Sheikh Hasina's second trip to the Indian capital in less than 15 days, as she was among the dignitaries invited to Modi's swearing-in ceremony on June 9. Earlier, the flight departed Palam Airport in New Delhi at 5:50 p.m. Delhi time. Indian Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change and also Minister of State for External Affairs Shri Kriti Varman Singh and Bangladesh High Commissioner to India Muhammad Mustafizur Rahman saw the premiere of at the airport. Dhaka and New Delhi have signed 10 Memorandum of Understanding MOUs, including 7 new and 3 renewed in the presence of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and her Indian counterpart Narendra Modi to further consolidate the ever-growing relationship between the two neighboring countries. The MOUs were signed after the delegation-level talks between the two countries at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi today. After the delegation-level meeting, the Bangladesh Prime Minister, along with her India counterpart, witnessed the exchange of MOUs on the key areas of blue economy and maritime cooperation, railway capacity building, health, academic cooperation, fisheries and disaster management. Earlier, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and her Indian counterpart Narendra Modi held delegation-level talks at Hyderabad House of the Indian capital city. The talks mainly featured connectivity and energy, sharing of water from common rivers, maritime resources, trade, border management, security and development partnership. The meeting was led by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on behalf of Bangladesh and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on behalf of India. In the bilateral meeting, the two prime ministers expressed hope to deepen the relationship. Besides, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a one-to-one meeting at the same place. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said Dhaka and New Delhi agreed about a shared vision for digital and green partnership to ensure a sustainable future for both the nations. The Bangladesh Premier said this while speaking at a joint statement before the media after a tete-a-tete and bilateral meeting with her Indian counterpart Narendra Modi, followed by signing of several instruments at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi.
ভারত বাংলাদেশের সবথেকে বড় প্রতিবেশী, বিশ্বস্ত বন্ধু এবং আঞ্চলিক অংশীদার। 1971 সালে মহান মুক্তিযুদ্ধের সময় ভারত আমাদের যেভাবে সহযোগিতা করেছিল এবং সেই থেকে আমাদের মধ্যে যে বন্ধুত্ব সৃষ্টি হয়েছে তা অটুট রয়েছে এবং আমি মনে করি যে একটি মাত্র কারণেই আমাদের দুই দেশের বন্ধুত্ব অত্যন্ত গুরুত্ব বহন করে। আমরা দুই দেশ একসঙ্গে কাজ করব এবং প্রাইম মিনিস্টার নরেন্দ্র মোদী বাংলাদেশ ভিজিট করলে আমাদের দুই দেশের সম্পর্ক আরো সুদৃঢ় ভিত্তির উপর এগিয়ে যাবে, সেটা আমি বিশ্বাস করি। আজকে আমরা অত্যন্ত ফলপ্রসূ আলোচনার মাধ্যমে আমরা ভবিষ্যতে আমাদের দুই দেশের জনগণের ভাগ্য পরিবর্তনে এবং দারিদ্র্য বিমোচন করে উন্নত সমৃদ্ধ জাতি হিসেবে গড়ে তোলার একটা সুযোগ আমরা পাবো।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina paid a courtesy call on Indian President Draupadi Murmu. On the last day of her two-day state visit to New Delhi, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina met with the Indian President at Rashtrapati Bhavan in the afternoon today. Indian President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina talked on various bilateral issues between the two friendly countries during the call-on. Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood, Prime Minister's Private Industry and Investment Advisor Salman F. Rahman and Principal Secretary Muhammad Tufazil Hossain Mia were present among others. Earlier, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina paid rich tributes to father of the Indian nation, Mahatma Gandhi. She paid the homage of Mahatma Gandhi by placing a wreath at his Samadhi at Rajghat. Sheikh Hasina also stood in solemn silence for some time there to show glowing respect on the great leader of India. She also spread flower petals over the Samadhi. The Bangladesh Premier as well signed the visitor's book there. On her arrival, the head of Rajghat Samiti welcomed her. Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said Bangladesh has sought cooperation from India to become a member of BRICS group of emerging market nations. Two acronyms stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. He briefed media about Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's engagement on her two-day bilateral visit to India at invitation of our Indian counterpart Narendra Modi. The Foreign Minister said the delegation-level talks featured many issues of bilateral interest that include joint management of 54 common rivers and their water sharing, connectivity, trade, security, border management, introduce of quota for Bangladesh to import essential commodities from India, quick medical visas for Bangladeshis and development of partnership.
সফরটি এ পর্যন্ত অত্যন্ত সফল একটি সফর হতে যাচ্ছে এবং আজকে আপনারা জানেন যে দুই প্রধানমন্ত্রীর মধ্যে দ্বিপাক্ষিক বৈঠক হয়েছে। দুই প্রধানমন্ত্রীর মধ্যে যে আলোচনা হয়েছে সেখানে অনেকগুলো বিষয়, বিশেষ করে কানেক্টিভিটি নিয়ে বিস্তারিত আলোচনা হয়েছে। বর্ডার কিলিং যাতে কমে সেটি নিয়ে রাজনৈতিক পর্যায়ে বর্ডার কিলিং শূন্যে নিয়ে আসার জন্য আমাদের উভয় দেশ অত্যন্ত আগ্রহী। এবং আপনারা জানেন ভারত এবং বাংলাদেশের মধ্যে 54টি অভিন্ন নদী আছে। সেই 54টি অভিন্ন নদী নিয়ে কিভাবে আমরা জয়েন্ট রিভার ম্যানেজমেন্ট আমরা করতে পারি। আমাদের দুই দেশের মধ্যে 54টি অভিন্ন নদী আছে এবং এই 54টি নদীর ম্যানেজমেন্টের জন্য আসলে বিশেষ করে জলবায়ু পরিবর্তন অভিঘাত মোকাবেলা, বন্যা মোকাবেলা, তারপর আমাদের এনভায়রনমেন্টাল প্রোটেকশন এবং এছাড়া নানা ক্লাইমেটিক ইভেন্টগুলোকে অ্যাড্রেস করা, সিল্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট সহ নানা বিষয়ে আসলে এই 54টি নদীর যদি আমরা একটা অভিন্ন ম্যানেজমেন্ট তৈরি করতে পারি বা একটা কোঅপারেশনের মাধ্যমে, সেটি নিয়ে গুরুত্ব সহকারে আলোচনা হয়েছে এবং তিস্তা রিভার ম্যানেজমেন্ট নিয়েও কথা হয়েছে। আমরা ইন্ডিয়ার সাপোর্ট চেয়েছি। আপনারা জানেন যে ব্রিক্সে যে কোনো ফরম্যাটে ব্রিক্স যদি সিদ্ধান্ত গ্রহণ করে যে নতুন দেশকে সদস্যভুক্ত করবে, সেই ক্ষেত্রেও বা যদি পার্টনার কান্ট্রি করে, যেভাবেই হোক আমরা ব্রিক্সের সাথে সংযুক্ত হতে চাই এবং সেটি আমরা ভারতবর্ষকে বলেছি। ভারতবর্ষ এ ব্যাপারে ইতিবাচক সাড়া দিয়েছে।
Bangladesh High Commissioner to India M. Mustafizur Rahman and Prime Minister's Press Secretary M. Naimul Islam Khan were present during the briefing. Chief of Army Staff General S.M. Shafiuddin Ahmed paid his farewell call on President Mohammad Shahabuddin at Bangabhavan this noon. President's Press Secretary Mohammad Jainal Abidin said that during the meeting, the outgoing Army Chief expressed gratitude to the President for extending cooperation in discharging his duties. He also informed the President about the overall activities of the Army. President Mohammad Shahabuddin thanked the outgoing Army Chief for successful completion of his tenure. The President lauded the role of outgoing Army Chief for the development of Bangladesh Army. President's Office Secretary Muhammad Wahidul Islam Khan and Military Secretary Major General Muhammad Adil Chaudhary were present. If the farmers in the country stay alive, the country will stay alive. The government is working in this regard. Agriculture Minister Dr. Muhammad Abdul Shahid said this in general discussion on the proposed budget for the fiscal 2024-2025 at Jatiya সংসদ today. Agriculture Minister said loss of crops due to natural disaster has been reduced much thanks to mechanization or use of harvester in agriculture. Earlier sitting of the Jatiya সংসদ started with Speaker Dr. Sheikh Chaudhary in the chair. Speaking on proposed budget, Minister for Housing and Public Works RAM Obadul Muqtadi Chaudhary said the proposed budget is realistic. The minister said uninterrupted development works are going on in the country as the country has a stable government. Member of Parliament Dr. Pran Gopal Dr said a good number of people of the country have been enrolled in the social safety net programs, which is rare in the world. Earlier in general discussion on the proposed budget, Member of Parliament Nurul Islam Nahid focused on the ongoing flood situation in Sylhet. He asked the government to take necessary measures to tackle the crisis. Member of Parliament Mahbub Rahman Manik urged for dredging Sorma and Kushiara River to protect Sylhet and Sunamganj from flood. Besides Member of Parliament Zahid Malik, State Minister for Finance Wasika Aisha Khan, Members of Parliament Muhammad Azizul Islam, SM Ataul Haq, Soyeda Zakia Nur Muhammad Moinuddin, Muizuddin Sharif and Nurul Nahar Begum took part in the discussion on proposed budget for the fiscal year 2024 and 2025. Sitting of the House will resume at 5:30 in the afternoon tomorrow. Speaker Dr. Sheikh Chaudhary said the scope of work of the Members of Parliament is not limited to enacting laws only. She said this while visiting the budget help desk set up by the Budget Analysis and Monitoring Unit along with the members of the Board of Directors of the Bangladesh Institute of Parliamentary Studies at সংসদ Bhavan today. Additional Secretary M.A. Kamal Billah made a presentation on the budget help desk, while Joint Secretary of Parliament Secretariat AKMG K. Priya Majumdar moderated it. Law Minister Anisul Haq spoke on the occasion as special guest. Senior Secretary of the Parliament Secretariat K.M. Abdul Salam moderated the question-answer session. The Speaker said the budget help desk has been providing various information and data related to the budget at the fastest time as per the demand of the Members of Parliament. She said the Members of the Parliament are able to hold constructive and lively discussion on the budget of receiving necessary information and data from the budget help desk. The Members of Parliament, officials of the European Union and Parliament Secretariat were present on the occasion. The 75th founding anniversary of ruling Awami League, which led achieving country's independence through the Great Liberation War, will be celebrated across the country tomorrow. The party was established on June 23, 1949 as Awami League at Rose Garden in the capital's old part, but later it appeared as Bangladesh Awami League to have a secular look. The Awami League is one of the oldest, non-communal, largest and leading political parties in the country. And the work of building a non-communal Bangladesh was first initiated by father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. At the time of its establishment, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was in jail and he was made Joint General Secretary of the party then. Meanwhile, in a message, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina greeted all leaders and workers of the party, supporters and well-wishers and the countrymen on the occasion of the party's 75th founding anniversary. In the message, she said her government is working tirelessly to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, a developed, prosperous, smart Bangladesh by 2041 and the Delta Pen by 2021. The Awami League has taken elaborate programs marking its founding anniversary. The programs include hosting of national and party flags at central and county-wide party offices at the dawn tomorrow, paying tributes at Bangabandhu's portrait in front of the Bangabandhu Bhavan at 7 a.m. On the day, a discussion will be held at Sorodi Udan at 3 p.m. followed by a culture event. Awami League President and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will preside over the discussion. Besides, a cultural program will be held at Robindra Sorobor and boat race and cycle rally will be arranged at Hathijil in the capital. On the same day, a delegation of Awami League Central Working Committee will pay rich tributes to Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, by placing a wreath at his mausoleum at Tungipara in Gopalganj. Earlier, Awami League General Secretary Obadul Qadir announced a 3-day program to celebrate the 75th founding anniversary. The founding anniversary of the country's oldest political party will be celebrated at each union and ward as well. The Awami League will hold a rally at the historic Sohrawardi Udyan in the capital tomorrow, marking its 75th founding anniversary. Awami League General Secretary Obadul Qadir visited the preparations at the ground in the morning today. Later, he talked to journalists and stressed the need for implementation of the electoral manifesto, control of the prices of essentials as well as inflation.
নির্বাচনী ইশতেহারের বাস্তবায়ন, আজকে দ্রব্যমূল্য নিয়ন্ত্রণে আনা, ইনফ্লেশন নিয়ন্ত্রণে আনা, এই বিষয়গুলো জনস্বার্থে খুব জরুরি এবং আমাদের কমিটমেন্ট। এটা আমরা একদিক থেকে বলতে পারি, আর অন্য দিক থেকে আমরা বলতে পারি আমাদের অনেকগুলো উন্নয়নের কাজ এখনো চলমান, যেমন আন্ডারগ্রাউন্ড মেট্রো, MRT লাইন 1, MRT লাইন 5, এই বিষয়গুলো এখন চলমান রয়েছে। এগুলো সুসম্পন্ন করাটাই হলো আমাদের এখনকার দায়িত্ব এবং কর্তব্য।
Obadul Qadir said a quarter is making efforts to taint the character of politicians by terming them crooks. The Awami League is aware of it, he added.
কল্পিতভাবে 111-এ আমরা যেটা দেখেছি, এদেশের পলিটিশিয়ানদেরকে নিন্দিত করা, উৎসারণ না করে পলিটিশিয়ানরা এদেশ স্বাধীন করেছে, পলিটিশিয়ানরা এদেশের উন্নয়ন করছে, পলিটিশিয়ানরা সেই পলিটিশিয়ানদেরকে করাপ্ট বানাবার এবং এই পলিটিশিয়ানরা ব্যর্থ এটা প্রমাণ করার জন্য এক শ্রেণীর লোক আজকে বাংলাদেশে তৎপরতা চালাচ্ছে। আমরা সেটা বুঝি, তার বিরুদ্ধে আমরাও প্রস্তুত। রাজনীতি করলে ব্যবসা করার কি অধিকার থাকবে না? চাঁদা তুলে চলবে, চাঁদা তুলে ছেলে মেয়েকে চালাবে, পরিবার চালাবে, ব্যবসা করবে, তাতে আপত্তি কি? সৎ ব্যবসা করতে তো আপত্তি নেই। অসৎ ব্যবসায়ীদের বিরুদ্ধে আমাদের জিরো টলারেন্স, দুর্নীতির বিরুদ্ধে আমাদের জিরো টলারেন্স।
Awami League Joint General Secretary Mahbubul Alam Hanif, Organizing Secretaries BM Mujammal Haq, SM Kamal Hussain and Mirza Azam, Cultural Affairs Secretary Ashim Kumar Ukil, Office Secretary Barrister Biplab Borwa, among the central leaders of the Awami League were present at that time. The flood situation has improved slightly in Sylhet and Maulvi Bazar today. On the other hand, new areas of Kurigram, Shirajganj and Bogura were inundated due to upstream water. Meanwhile, the local administrations in the flood-hit districts have been distributed relief to the flood-affected people. In Kurigram, the water in the Tista River was flowing 20 centimeters over the danger mark this morning. Low-lying areas, islands and croplands were inundated by the flood water. Thousands of people in these areas were marooned, while the communication system in the district has collapsed because of flood water. In Sirajganj, river erosion has started in the district as the water in the Jamuna River is increasing rapidly. Many houses under Shahjatpur Upazila have been washed away by the flood water. The Water Development Board is working to tackle the river erosion. Meanwhile, the water in Jamuna was flowing 82 centimeters below the danger level, increasing to 11 centimeters at the hard point. In Bogura, water in the Jamuna, Bangali, Korotwa and Ichamoti rivers in the district has increased in the last 24 hours. The Water Development Board said low-lying areas of the two banks of these rivers were inundated. The local administration has made necessary preparations to face the flood. In Sylhet, the flood situation has improved in the district as water in all rivers of the district started receding. Surma River in Sylhet Point was flowing 6 centimeters below the danger mark. Despite the improved flood situation, more than 30,000 people in 13 wards in Sylhet city are still stranded in flood water. Around 10 lakh people remain flood affected in 13 upazilas under the district. In Maulavi Bazar, around 3 lakh people have been marooned by the flood water in the district. More than 6,000 people along with their cattle have taken shelter at 205 shelters in the district. 70 medical teams are working to provide medical service to the flood-affected people. Local administration is distributing relief, saline and water purification tablets among the flood victims. Now moving to international news. At least 42 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli attacks on the Shati refugee camp on the Tafah neighboring in Gaza. Gaza's government media office said 24 killed in 7 homes in Shati and 18 in Tafah. Another 25 Palestinians killed and 50 wounded in Israeli attack on 10 sheltering displaced people in the Al-Mawasi area designated a humanitarian safe zone by Israel. Israeli tanks pushed deeper into western Rafah as warplanes and artillery pounded the city, where an armored vehicle were destroyed by a Hamas-planted improvised explosive device. The International Committee of the Red Cross says its offices in Gaza have been damaged by shelling, which killed 22 people and 45 injured who had sought shelter around its compound. According to Gaza's Ministry of Health, Israeli attacks killed 101 Palestinians and wounded 169 in the latest 24-hour reporting period. At least 37,551 Palestinians have been killed and 85,911 wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7, 2023. Meanwhile, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that spiraling hostiles between Israel and the Lebanese Islamist movement Hezbollah risks triggering a catastrophe for the region and beyond. Now, weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said light to moderate rain or thundershowers accompanied by temporary gust to wind is likely to occur at most places over Rangpur, Mymensingh and Sylhet divisions, at a few places Chattogram division and 1 or 2 places over Rajshahi, Dhaka, Khulna and Barishal division. Besides, moderately heavy to heavy force likely to occur at places over Rangpur, Mymensingh and Sylhet divisions. Night and day temperature may rise slightly over the country, said the Met Office. Now news on sports. Bangladesh are now batting against India with a victory target of 197 runs in the match of Super 8 stage of ICC T20 World Cup at Sridev Richard Stadium in Antigua. Bangladesh won the toss and elected the field first. India scored 196 runs for 5 wickets in 20 overs. Viewers, to end the bulletin's headlines once again. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina returns home after wrapping up her 2-day state visit to India. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina holds a bilateral meeting with her Indian counterpart Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House in Delhi. Dhaka and New Delhi signed some memorandums of understanding MOUs to strengthen bilateral relations between the countries. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi quotes Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina with a warm ceremonial reception at Rashtrapati Bhavan. 75th founding anniversary of Bangladesh Awami League tomorrow. The party working to establish a welfare state, opine senior leaders. Implementing election manifesto and curbing commodity price hikes unnecessary now. Besides, Awami League responsible to complete ongoing development projects, says Obaidul Qadir. Flood situations in Sylhet and Maulavi Bazar improved while upstream water inundated new areas in Kuringram, Shirajganj and Bogora. More than 100 Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks at different places, including southern city Rafah in Gaza. And Bangladesh facing India in their second match of Super 8 stage of T20 World Cup. Viewers, that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for being with us, and we invite you to watch our Bangla news that is coming up at 11:30. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.